If you own a med spa or aesthetic practice and you're not making at least 100K per month, then you are leaving a ridiculous amount of money on the table. And I get it. Maybe you opened your doors thinking, I'll just do great work and the clients will show up on their own, word of mouth, referrals, etc. And it seems like they never actually show up, right? In the year 2025, what you're going to notice is that 92% of med spas are going to fail. And it's not because they're not good at what they do. It's just because they make the same mistakes over and over again, which makes it very easy for the people who are doing it right to be able to put them out of business. So in this video, what we're going to do is break down exactly what you need to do in order to turn things around fast for your business. Real quick, if you're new here, my name is Chris Minter and I help med spas scale past 6 figures per month. To date, I have helped over 13 different med spas go from barely making ends meet to now generating upwards of 7 to 8 figures in annual revenue. And today I'm going to give you the raw truth about why most med spas will not make it and how to make sure that your med spa is not one of them. All right, so let's get into why most med spas fail. And here's where most med spa owners completely miss the mark. It is the mind state that if I build it, they'll come. So you probably thought that just opening a med spa was enough. And because it's a booming industry, that you would be able to capitalize, claim your piece of the pie, however you want to put it. The problem is that nobody knows that you exist until you actually put yourself out there, where people are spending the majority of their time. And of course, as you probably know, this is social media. This is a platform like Facebook or Instagram. And no matter how great your services are, even if they're the best in town, it doesn't really mean anything if nobody knows about them. So what happens is when you have competitors, particularly franchises, who are spending millions of dollars a year to make themselves relevant, these are the ones who are displaying themselves as a dominant force within your local market. And if your message is not seen alongside their message, then the people that you need to attract are not going to know that they should consider you at all. The next misconception is that my grand opening will carry me. And you probably had a big launch, you gave out some really great discounts, got some bookings, and now it's just crickets, right? Your business took off and then all of a sudden it just flatlined immediately after. And you're likely sitting around thinking that referrals are going to be the thing that saves you. However, referrals are not predictable. And at any given time, you might get 5 or 10 referrals in a month, and the next month you might get 0. So that's no way to run your business because it doesn't give you a sense of security in your cash flow. And the last reason that most med spas fail is the assumption that being the best provider is going to make you successful. And I hate to break it to you, but skill alone does not pay the bills. If you just go and you look in your local area at the biggest people in the game, the most successful med spas, they're not exactly the best at what they do. But Starbucks also doesn't have the best coffee, and McDonald's doesn't have the best food, but they dominate because they know how to get in front of people. So going back to what I mentioned earlier, if your competitor's marketing message is getting in front of people, but for some reason yours isn't, then the assumption is that you're not relevant or that you don't even exist, therefore you don't get any business. So are you kind of seeing the pattern yet? So now let's get into what successful med spas do differently. So the most successful med spas don't just wing it. They do 3 things in particular better than everyone else. The first thing is they own one niche first. So if you're known for Botox, you need to own that. If you're known for laser, you need to go all in on laser. People should hear your med spa's name and immediately associate it with one main thing. And then once you start stacking clients, then you start upselling them and cross-selling them on more treatments gradually. The second thing that most med spas that are successful do is they don't add services too soon. So I see so many different med spa owners who are rushing to add all of these different treatments to their business. Treatments that they didn't even go into business planning on offering, because a few people come into their clinic and they say, hey, do you offer this as well? And then they just never actually come back and buy it. And the business is left with all of this overhead. They have more staff now, and there's nobody for them to treat. So instead, what you should do is you should pre-sell your new services, or the new services that you are considering, so that way, if you can see that clients are willing to put their money up in the form of a deposit, then you can bring it in safely and not have to worry about having cash flow problems. And the third thing that successful med spas do differently is they have a system that runs on autopilot. So if you can't already tell, word of mouth and referrals alone will not cut it for your business. You need consistent new clients every month. And the most profitable med spas have marketing systems that bring in new clients daily, even while they sleep. And now let's talk about the ultimate client acquisition system. And here's what separates the winners from the struggling med spas. The first thing being clients coming in 24/7. And I'm talking about without running Groupon deals, which are horrible for your brand. So no more desperate discounts, no more chasing leads. Now you're just running a system that brings in financially qualified clients on autopilot. The second thing is no more missed calls. Now, every missed call is lost money, and you spend thousands of dollars on your website. You spend hours upon hours on a regular basis making social media content, going to community events, networking, etc. And what happens when somebody actually decides to call your business? They end up getting your voicemail. And you're telling them everything about how important their call is, but they don't feel that way because they're not actually speaking with anybody. So what they're prone to doing is going and finding somebody that's going to actually pick up the phone and make them feel like they are a priority. You know, there's probably been a time in your life where you've needed something. It might have been a plumber coming over to your house. Well, you need the toilet to work today. You can't afford to have that toilet working tomorrow or a week from now because you want to wait around until you hear from the person who you want to hear from. You need something to be done immediately. And you have to think of that the exact same way when it comes down to your clients. And if this person who is looking for your services is not already a client of yours, then they are extremely prone to just going to the next business on the list and choosing them because they answered the phone. And that's exactly why the top med spas have 24/7 AI-powered customer support and booking systems. And the last thing that the ultimate client acquisition system for med spas will have is a system that allows you to track numbers like a hawk. So for example, if I asked you how much it costs you to get a new client through your door, do you know that client acquisition cost? Be honest. Do you know how much your average client spends? Do you know how much your consumables cost for any given treatment off the top of your head? These are all things that you must know, and if you don't, then you are operating in the dark, and that is a fast track to failure. So, if you're being honest with yourself right now and you did not know the answer to these questions when I asked, then there's a good chance that you are losing a lot of money right now, and slowly but surely you are going to fast track your way to going out of business. All right, so if you're tired of guessing and you want a proven system that can bring in new, high-paying clients every day, you need to check out Aesthetic Flow. We've helped med spas just like yours scale to six-figure months, and we can do the exact same for your business, no matter how big or small. If this video helped you, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and leave a comment below and let me know what you'd like to see in the next video. And until next time, peace.